What's up, guys? It's been a long time coming, but I feel like I'm finally ready to make this video. It's one that I've been putting off for a long time, but I wanted to start posting again, and I feel like this was a pretty good place to start with. So today we're going to talk about my Rifleman kit for 2025, Armed Prepared Citizen Minuteman kit, if you will. I'm going to go over it all in just one comprehensive video and show you what I've got going on. So out of all the things I have to cover, I figure I might as well just cover my rifle first to get it out of the way. This is my rifle. As you can tell, it's an absolute Frankenstein of parts, cheap parts. First thing you might notice, the KP15 monolithic polymer lower from KE Arms. When my local gun store got these in, I couldn't really say no for the $100 price tag. $100 got me the lower, $40 for the parts kit. For $140 you get a pretty durable, reliable, and lightweight lower that has a stock already attached. I'm a big fan of my M16s, so I've always liked the M16 length of pull, so this is a very, very comfortable stock and grip for me. I've also always kind of liked the flared magwell. It makes reloads really, really easy. The upper is a PA-15 Palmetto State Armory upper, 16-inch barrel, M4 profile with 1 in 7 twist. The red dot is a Stinger Axiom 2. I think it's a $16 Amazon special, but it's always shot true for me. It's got a quick detach mount. If I take it off and put it back on, the zero's in the same spot every single time. Can't complain. The only thing that I don't like about it is the fact that it's not shake awake, and for that reason alone, I'm thinking of replacing it eventually with something better. In the rear, we've got the Magpul flip-up M-bus sight. Nothing special there. And up front, we've got a B5 Systems carbine handguard. I like it because it's thin and you can wrap your hands around it. And a lot of stuff these days that is convenient is just M-lock, so you know, can't really go wrong with the M-lock. Stuff like this Streamlight ProTac, bright enough, you know, it's got the strobe. Yeah, epilepsy warning. When it comes to rifles, don't let people blow smoke up your ass. Not all cheap stuff is bad, and not all expensive stuff is good or worth the money. A lot of the times I feel like you can get a $600 rifle that'll run it just as well as any $1,800 gun, and you know, that's certainly the case with something like this. Would it outshoot a BCM? Would it outshoot a Daniel Defense? I have no idea. All I know is that, you know, when I put bullets in this thing, the bullets come out the other end and I never get any malfunctions. So for an average guy, you know, somebody that goes on the Palmetto State Armory website and orders a cheap rifle, if they get that rifle and it runs, why should I feel the need to tell that person that they need to go and buy something more expensive when they could use their money to just go and train? If you take anything away from my little rifle rant, just know this. All I'm trying to say is that a functional rifle setup should not break the bank. This thing's not failed me yet, and I don't think it will fail me anytime soon. Maybe one day I'll upgrade to something better, but for now, this is what we're rocking, and it's all good. Alright, next we're going to talk about chest rigs. And this is my chest rig. Personally, I think that every armed and prepared citizen, or anybody that, you know, might call themselves a Minuteman, the primary piece of gear that you'll probably be using the most often will be some type of chest rig. Whether it's attached to a plate carrier or whether it's just a standalone rig like this. I feel like, you know, these have a lot of utility, and it's something that everyone should own. This is a AWS Strike chest rig from the little reading that I've done. This chest rig was used by a lot of 90s Delta guys. I think a lot of dudes wore it on Operation Gothic Serpent, Black Hawk Down for the uninitiated. But all history shit aside, we're going to go over what's inside of it. First up, gloves. This is a basic pair of mechanics work gloves, and I wouldn't say that gloves are absolutely essential, but it's always nice to have something to protect your hands. Whether you have to jump through a window and protect your hands from broken glass, or maybe you run an AK and you want to protect your left hand from the hot gas tube after you've run 4 mags through it. It's always just nice to have something to protect your hands. Behind that, I've got an old Buck 110 folding knife. This is one of the more beat up knives that I've owned, and it's one of the more sharp knives that I've owned. So I figured that if there was one to sacrifice to the field, if this thing ever fell out of my pocket here and I lost it, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But it's always nice to have some type of blade for, if you have to cut something, it is what it is, a knife.
It's a knife.
Next to that, and the other 3 pistol mag pouches, I've got 3 17-round Glock magazines for my Glock 17. In most situations where I imagine I have to pick this thing up and, go do something with it quickly, I don't think I would have my pistol on me. But in the event that I had my concealed carry on me,
Glock look like a pizza with stuffed crust.
I would have, 3 magazines worth of ammo plus whatever was in the gun. So 2 guns is better than 1, right? Behind those, 4 fully loaded 30-round AR-15 magazines. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you wanted to, you could put 40-rounders in there. I haven't tested that out myself, but I'm sure it wouldn't impede wearing the chest rig, so that's an option. In front of 2 of the rifle mag pouches, there's this elastic. I have nothing in this side, but in this side I have a Cat Gen 3 tourniquet. And flanking these sides of the chest rig, there are 2 giant pouches. I think they're initially intended to be radio pouches, but I do not have a radio that is big enough to fill the entire pouch by itself. But here is what I do have. On one side, I always try to carry some type of water bottle, and what I found is that, a 16-ounce basic water bottle will fit pretty good into this pouch. I'm sure that you could get some type of commercial refillable, reusable water bottle that would fit in here pretty well. I actually have a Life Straw water bottle that can attach a filter on the inside. That fits in here pretty good. I wish I would have brought that out here, but this basic great value water bottle illustrates my point pretty well. On the other side, I've got a GoPro head mount because I film a lot of GoPro footage in this chest rig. Next, I've got a Baofeng UV5R ham radio. If you're looking to get comms on the cheap and you don't want to put a whole bunch of money into it, I would highly recommend picking up at least 1 or 2 Baofeng UV5Rs just to use between yourself or maybe your neighbors, whatever. This is not the best radio. It is not as good as something maybe like a digital radio or whatever. I'm not a big comms guy, but what I do know is that the Guerilla's Guide to Baofeng Radio is a pretty cheap read, pretty good read, and Baofeng UV5Rs are quite cheap. So do with that information what you will. Next, down in the bottom of the pouch, I have a mask. Now, if you ever had to do any sneaky shit in your chest rig and your gear, and you might get seen by the public, you might not want to be recognized. So you might want to carry some type of mask with you, be it a ski mask, a balaclava, a neck gaiter. Any number of masks will do the job, but it's always good to have some type of thing to cover your face in case you don't want to be recognized. Finally, we have the dangler. The dangler is a cheap Krydex Amazon dangler that I attached to the chest rig via adhesive Velcro. Underneath both of these is another piece of Velcro like this, and I slapped this dangler on there, and then I took another piece of Velcro, slapped it on here to protect my clothing from the loop. But I was able to take this and turn it into something for more storage. Inside the dangler, it's kind of just a ghetto IFAK, but in the very front of it, I have this. It's a Right in the Rain notebook pouch. So obviously there is a Right in the Rain notebook in there. I've got 2 chem lights, a fine tip Sharpie, and a normal Sharpie. And then my IFAC stuff. I have 2 rolled gauzes from North American Rescue. Got an Israeli bandage still wrapped up. And I've got, by the grace of God, 2 full-size hyphen vented chest seals in there. And that was a breakdown on the chest rig. You know, I know it's not the latest and greatest thing ever, but I feel like I could be a lot worse off. When it comes down to it, I'm honestly just trying to save myself money, and I'm trying to not just constantly buy new stuff all the time. So, you know, taking something like this, you know, modifying it to carry a little bit extra stuff, you know, I feel like just that modification made this thing leagues better than if I would have just decided to go and spend double the money to buy something absolutely new. And this thing would have just been taking up space in my closet. This thing carries all the stuff that I want it to and more. And it's comfortable to wear. It's easy to wear with a ruck, comfortable with a ruck, and I can lay down in it, so that's saying something. And, you know, if I needed to plus up on magazines, you can always just get something like this 4-pocket bandolier, throw that on over your shoulder, and you've got 4 extra magazines to use if you needed to. Alright, so hopefully this video does its part in explaining that you don't need an entire mountain of stuff just to have a good Minuteman Rifleman setup. All you necessarily need is 1 good chest rig and 1 good rifle. You know, doesn't matter what rifle. Doesn't even necessarily have to be an AR-15. Just make sure that it's accurate and reliable and that it works for you and you're comfortable running it and that you can use it efficiently. As for the chest rig, you know, compared to what I showed you, you know, there are tons of different options. You know, things that are more expensive, things that carry more stuff, things that are less expensive. Whatever you want to carry with you, just make sure that your gear is capable of doing that. Practice in your gear, learn to use your gear effectively. Just having it is one thing, but actually getting out and practicing in it and making sure that you can move and reload from it, that's, you know, going to make all the difference if push ever comes to shove. Hopefully this video is some good food for thought. My garage is hot as hell right now. I'm just trying to film an outro to this video so I can send it to the masses. But yeah, time to get out of this fucking hot ass garage. God damn.